Good afternoon, and it's my first visit to the association's conference, so thank you very much indeed for inviting me. Um, so yes, we are a double act because there's a lot of important stuff to get through in a very short period of time. When it was first suggested that we come along and talk to you today, I gave a lot of thought to what messages you guys need to hear from a recycling point of view. Now, we're not that unusual, I suppose, but we have a vested interest in the whole value chain of paper, both from the sourcing of recyclable material for our mills right through to the production of finished paper. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about the challenges, and I don't want to scare people. I'm hoping that we will leave you on a very upbeat message, but the economic outlook and the legal outlook, I think, are really, really critical and will become absolutely critical when we look at the sourcing of recycled material for our products. And just to give you a little bit of a background into that, some interesting statistics from the UK in terms of our production of waste paper and card. We as a nation throw away over 6 million tonnes of paper every year. I'm sure you've all heard about the statistics about every tonne of paper recycled saves 17 trees. So sustainably, a very, very important thing. We saw back in the last 10 years a real increase in the collection and recycling of fibre material. That really did, at about 2014, 2015, we saw local authorities really balance out that recycling. And we saw and that increase of 7 percentage points of collection rates by local authorities tended to level out in the mid-teens. Certainly over the last 2 years, we've seen a significant growth again. Now, that's been driven a little bit, obviously, by COVID. We've seen a major growth in the retail home delivery sector. And the statistics aren't out on last year, but we think that from our estimates, about 300,000 tonnes has been put onto the market in terms of recycled material. We do envisage, as people move towards more of a hybrid working model, we anticipate that online grocery and non-grocery goods will continue. But then the issue comes when we look at the capacity here in the UK and our ability to process that material. And currently, from a paper and packaging point of view, we currently have the ability to recycle 45% of our total volume produced in the UK. And that's very, very significant because of our paper and card packaging waste, we produce 4 million tonnes a year. We have the ability, the capacity, through mills like Saica, DS Smiths, Murphy Cappis, which are the big three, we have the ability to recycle and reuse 2 million tonnes of that material as raw materials in our system. That means that at this moment in time, we are very much determined and dependent and reliant on export routes for the recycling of our paper and card. Now, most of you may have heard, as we move away from a print newspaper PAMS usage in the UK, that's had a major impact on news mills. And last year we saw the UPM Shotton mill be sold off to Aran Packaging, the Turkish packaging company. We anticipate, and the suggestions from Aran are that their mill, which they are converting to a paper and corrugated system, that system will be operational in 23-24, and that will give capacity to the UK sector to utilise or to capture, hopefully, that 2 million tonnes that's currently being exported, let's hope that we get to keep that in the UK. At this moment in time, we don't really know. We don't know whether Erin will look to take that domestic offtake that is currently going into mills like Saica, whether they're going to capture that volume or whether they're going to go and look to get that export material. We're hoping, and we're looking to contract up all of our business to ensure that they don't, that they do look to the export markets. But fundamentally, even with Erin coming online, it still demands that us as a UK PLC will have a dependence on export markets into the future. So the two aspects that I just wanted to briefly talk about is the economic outlook and the legal outlook, because those are the two things that will affect you guys, in my opinion, over the coming years. What we saw over the last 10 years was what I call the China effect. China had a major requirement for recycled paper and card, and they came into the UK market because we generate a lot of very good quality OCC material, which is perfect for recycling and for their needs. As a consequence of that, buying up that material, we saw prices rise significantly leading up until 2018. China then effectively said, well, we're not going to be the dumping ground for all of the waste that's generated in Western Europe, etc. So they started this process of restricting materials that are coming in. And as a consequence of that, we saw prices drop as we were flooded with more material in Western Europe. We, when I look at export markets, and particularly deep sea Asian markets, we anticipate that those import restrictions will continue. And that is very much along with, in Southeast Asia, you'll notice that India particularly is the main offtake route now for export material, taking over from China. And we anticipate that as Southeast Asia's own domestic collection volumes are going to increase, that will then put restrictions on import of recycled material. And as I said, during that process of 2016 to 2019, input prices increased at a faster rate than output prices. So as a mill, it really did squeeze the margins of mill operators. Coupled with that, the energy increases in costs and the prices of the output material has really shrunk and restrained the returns of mills. So I think the outlook can, as we see it, will continue in that trajectory. And then just to add to the gloomy feel of my presentation thus far, but there is good news coming, I promise you. From a legal point of view, I think, particularly in the European Union and here domestically, there's been a lot, and I think we'd all have had to be asleep over the last couple of years if we didn't see the media reports of recycling material ending up in plastic dumps out in the Indian Ocean, etc., etc. And domestic countries in Europe are particularly looking at ways to ensure that the materials that we export are of a quality that is not going to have an adverse effect on the environment. And what we're seeing over the next coming years is a real move towards rules around exports. So currently the European Union is looking at, and they are putting together proposals for waste exports to non-OECD countries, and they're effectively saying that those exports should be restricted and they should only be allowed if the countries can demonstrate a sustainability index, i.e. that the material is fit, it is clean, and it is of a quality that something can be done with it and it can be reused. And the whole focus around this is really to reduce the illegal exports and encourage secondary material usage here in Europe. And to support that further, the suggestions are that they are going to be subject to independent assessment. Other legislation here in the UK, last year we had the government now passing its legislation to introduce extended producer responsibility, and it effectively puts the responsibility back on the packaging companies, producers, to fund the cost of recycling and disposing of its waste. So all businesses that produce and use packaging should contribute to the cost of recycling and recovery. And effectively, it's designed around diverting waste and diverting materials, reducing waste, etc. So all of that comes with a cost. And what we as an organisation have tried to do is to support organisations like yourself and the retailers, particularly here in the UK, to improve the usage of the material that's produced. Now, traditionally, the recycling and waste management arena wasn't the most sexy of industries. We tended to take material, put it in a landfill site, hole in the ground, and that's it. Now, and very much the Saica model is very much about driving circular economy thinking into our processes, but also into our customer processes. And we do that by essentially questioning and re-questioning why waste is produced. And effectively, our model is very much, we take waste cardboard, waste paper, and we use that as the raw material that we use in the production of our paper. And that is very much the base of the circular economy. And the circular economy is something that if you haven't heard a lot about it, you will hear a lot about it, because it's the basis of all of the legal drivers and instruments that are being applied across the globe. And as I said, and Mark is really going to take this and tell you how that works on a day-by-day basis in Saica. And effectively, what we have done is to say, look, the circular economy is critical, but to make the circular economy work, we need to ensure that your materials are as clean as possible, so that when we take them into our processes, we give you the best possible price for that material. So you have a vested interest in eliminating contamination from your waste, and that then becomes the raw material that drives our system. So that's very much our DNA, very different from other recycler and waste management companies who may have a vested interest in you producing waste because they fill their containers. We want to get rid of waste so we can optimize the value, reduce our own operating costs, and by virtue of that, give you the best value for your material. So I'm going to hand over to Mark, who'll tell you a little bit about how that will work.
Thanks, Ian.
No problem.
4 months ago, I was first at the Sheep Plant Association conference, invited by Andrew Woolard, who was one of the speakers and my boss at the time. I was coming to the end of a 6-month secondment as general manager of the Boxway Telford Sheep Plant, formerly Saica Telford. As I watched Andrew walk up onto the stage, I thought rather you than me. 4 months on, I'm working for the dark side, as most of you would probably call it, and find myself on stage at the SPA conference wondering how I got here. I tell you this, as we never really know what is around the corner. I'm sure at the SPA conference this time 2 years ago, no one was expecting the changes that we have seen in the last 2 years to have such a huge effect on our lives and the businesses that we're in. The corrugated industry has seen huge change in that 2-year period. We've gone from too much capacity to not enough, a few days lead time to, in some instances, 3 months lead time on our board. Shortages in paper and transport added in the mix, an increase what seems every two months in the last 12 months. There has been a lot to think about and focus on, just managing customers' expectations and supporting the members of our teams with the constant changes both at work and at home. Waste management is probably not high on the list of priorities, but I'm sure from the information Oonagh has just shared with us, this may be moving up that list. An industry whose main raw material is paper, it's important that we protect that supply for the future growth of our businesses, but also we optimise the value of the waste stream this is where I believe Saica, Natur may be able to help. I'll just try and use this. Okay. Within Saica, our model is based on 4 key platforms: Saica Efficiency, Saica Value, Saica Circular, and Saica Zero. These 4 platforms are brought together with our end-to-end contract management. Saica Zero, by questioning the production of waste, we are able to highlight opportunities to either eliminate sources of waste, refine the quality, and unlock the value of the byproducts. These byproducts become the raw materials that are used through our production processes. Applying Saica Zero to our customers, by asking questions, what waste is produced, we will replicate a solution already in place. By asking why and how our customers produce waste, we challenge their process and highlight the opportunities to engineer out unnecessary waste in their businesses. Because we have always done something in a certain way doesn't mean that it's the best way. Often a business will have expanded and grown, machines will have been bought to improve efficiencies, but what waste has that created, and have we changed the way we dispose of it? You may get 2 tonnes of card in a skip, 5 tonnes in a compactor, and 20 tonnes of baled waste on a trailer. How much could be saved in transport by doing it in a different way than we do presently? Is this an option within your own businesses? On this slide, you'll see the varying waste streams that may be in your business. Paper, plastic, wood, confidential waste, probably paper-based, food, waste being your old electrical items, hazardous and general. If we're able to separate these at source, we're able to get best value or cut down costs of the disposal of them with a view of ending with zero landfill. Technology and expertise. On-site technology ensuring material recovery is optimised with the correct machinery and receptacles, i.e. skip, compactor or baler could be an example. Optimise transport through better process. We optimise transportation, keeping costs low and adding value. People and education, probably one of the most important parts of it. Ensuring that the teams that you have are aware of how they should be disposing or storing the waste to ensure that it doesn't get contaminated, as Oonagh has just highlighted. And then best practice and waste processing. Focus on continuous improvements and change processes as required. Most businesses, I think, in the room will have added machinery of some sort over the last few months, or are certainly considering it to improve efficiencies. By ensuring that we look at these processes on an ongoing basis ensures that we're doing the right thing within our businesses to dispose of the waste. Value trading platform. Understanding waste streams and organising collection at our customer's site to deliver best value and optimise the potential for recycling and zero landfill. Rebates can be linked to Let's Recycle, giving visibility of what you should be getting paid and when. Saica Natur team is available to advise on potential improvements and deliver best practice and value, documentation, logistical, legal requirements and machinery. Offering the best technology and equipment to deliver value through efficient waste collections. Through partnerships and contracts, we will provide a waste solution to optimise value and the goal of the zero landfill for our customers. Providing documentation for final destination of waste in line with government requirements, and providing due diligence within third-party waste partners that we have within our business to deliver the full circular economy. And then finally, ensuring no compromise to quality, health and safety, environmental in the solution we provide. Deliver the service to provide the waste management solution. Provide the communication links between our business and your own businesses, ensuring collections are made at the right time, paperwork is delivered as required. Making available our team to continuously review and improve. Providing the management information to fulfil legal requirements, ensuring the solution is sustainable and adapting as required, and deliver a value for money solution. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all. Thank you, Tim, for inviting us. If anyone has any questions, myself and Oonagh will be around later, unless there is anything at the moment that we can help with.
Thank you.
Thank you.